Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the Football Stooges. We are officially getting ready for the draft. It is exactly, as recording this, a week away. We have exactly 7 days until Brock Bowers is a Cincinnati Bengals. Please, Duke Tobin, hear me.
Not happening.
Hear me, Duke Tobin. Hear me, Duke Tobin. Please. Regardless, make sure you guys tune in next week on Thursday, not Friday. We will have a live show live on YouTube where we'll be watching the draft live. We won't be able to show all of the draft. Usually we'll just clip the part where it has the little ticker, and we'll talk about the draft and who we think they're going to pick, all while we're covering the UFL action from the previous week. So we'll be able to get a lot of information at you. We'll be able to talk a lot about a lot of different things. But yeah, we got to get into it this week because we have a mock draft to do. We have another tier list. They're back. Maston can't escape them forever. And we also have a full week of UFL action, 4 full games. A lot of them very good, very close, and still more heroism from a lot of these athletes trying to make it to the NFL. But as always, welcome to the stupidest way to cover football imaginable.
And boy, is it stupid.
And boys, maybe not as stupid as last week, but it's going to be. As always, my compatriot in stoogery and stupidity, my right-hand man at 99.9% of episodes, the Football Stooges Purell hand sanitizer, it's Mastodon.
Yippee!
Yippee! Is that your feeling after the A.J. Brown speculation?
Oh, no, that was the Farlipa company last week.
Yeah, that was fun. Second up, the man who is counting down the days until Caleb Williams is a Chicago Bear. It's Mamba.
Yippee!
Yeah, getting there. 7 days into ruin another quarterback's NFL career. And last but certainly not least, a man who was probably excited by the possibility of Tom Brady coming back. It's K-Duff.
Sort of yippee.
I feel like
more interested in seeing what we do with this AJ Brown news that dropped. Well, not news, but rumors. It'd be so. Just to get into it real quick. So this is the tweet I saw earlier today that Eagles wide receiver AJ Brown just followed new Patriots players, quarterback Jacoby Brissett, and wide receiver KJ Osborne on Instagram. Also changed all his profile pictures to Brady. And New England's de facto GM Elliott Wolf today said the team is in trade talks for wide receivers. Now, assuming we don't give up the 3rd overall pick,
That's
and give
all
up,
right.
like,
That's what
second,
I want to happen. If AJ Brown does get traded, give me the fucking 3rd overall.
that would hurt
There
the
you go.
What would
Eagles
you do at
so
3?
bad.
Just take Harrison Jr.?
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
shit.
Just
Oh, shit.
fuck you, kid.
That might be worth it.
Oh, what? I got
Because
AJ
AJ Brown. I mean, AJ Brown is still very good, but he's on his way out. Like, he's getting closer to 30. He's not bad, don't get me wrong. Still a phenomenal receiver. Probably top 10, if not top 5 in the league right now. But at the same time, getting a young receiver like that would help. However, the Eagles aren't in a rebuild. So...
I mean, I'm looking at the Google Doc and seeing how many pieces they moved in the free agency here. Jesus.
I mean, the Eagles still have a young quarterback. So if they keep Hurts and they get Marvin Harrison Jr. in this, like, the scenario... That's a core that they have set up for a long time. That's a Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase-esque core right there that they can keep for a while, but, like, the rest of their roster's not keeping up with that. Like, the only other young piece that I think is integral to that team right now is Mailata. And he's older than Hurts.
Dickerson.
Yeah, Dickerson's, yeah. I mean, Lane Johnson is a fucking butterfly away from retirement.
Devontae Smith, who you just locked up for another 3 years.
Yeah, he's good. I don't think he won't be able to stay around as long. But he's still youngish. That defense just needs retooled. I guess they have... No, honestly, the Eagles... Now that I think about it, the Eagles have a lot of young talent. Like, they did lose, obviously, Kelsey and Fletcher Cox, but they also have Jordan Goliath Davis, who's young.
Cam Jordan.
Yeah.
Kobe Dean.
Jalen Smith, Kobe Dean.
Blankenship
is...
as well.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. Yeah, Blankenship is on and off for secondary. Still have Darius Slay for a bit.
You got Saquon Barkley and
CJ Gardner-Johnson.
CJ Gardner-Johnson. You got Devontae Parker as well.
Yeah, so there's some young and some old pieces. That it's weird. Now that I think about it, the Eagles might be halfway between a young core and an old core. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see.
It's
But
a good
anyway,
mix to have both veteran and rookie stuff. So.
that's speculation. Let's go ahead and get in some cold, hard facts. We'll start off with the crossover grid, move on to KDF news, then the UFL, and then we'll do our mock draft. So without further ado, let's test our ball knowledge here.
Giggity.
Right
All
up.
right.
350 pass yards in a game for Jaguars.
Can we go with
Blake
can we go with
Bortles,
Minshew Mania there?
Minshew.
Ooh. Oh, it could be Nick Foles.
Yeah. Gardner Minshew.
Yeah.
5 receiving
only 5%.
touchdowns in a season. They had a really good wait. Maybe
Christian Kirk?
You could do Kirk. I mean, I think Evan Ingram had 5 touchdowns last year.
Mace Jones-Drew? Did he have in a
No.
season?
No.
5 receiving touchdowns in a season? Really, for a running back? Okay.
Huh.
Dude, just do Christian Kirk. Just do Kirk.
Yeah,
That's
Christian
too
Kirk.
oh,
Okay.
That's too easy. Oh,
All right. How about Evan Ingram then? I don't fucking know.
well, no, they had a
Calvin
tight
Ridley.
they
Like,
had a tight end. I'm trying to think of the name right now because it's on the tip of my tongue. They had a tight end that was really good for a while. Back when they had Maurice Jones-Drew. I can't remember his name. I'm gonna look him up. This is bothering me.
I can't even
I
remember
really
what I
know
had for
modern day
dinner
guys
last
for
night.
the.
Is it really?
Mercedes Lewis?
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it is Mercedes
Wow.
Lewis. I forgot he
What?
was
I
a
didn't know.
yeah.
Okay. All right.
10 sacks in a single season. I think this is Josh Allen.
You do Josh Allen or Miles Jack, I think.
Yeah,
Here's the thing. There's
It's
2
the-
Josh Allens in the league.
Oh my God, Josh Allen. Oh my God.
Try 2019, I think.
Okay.
I think he's younger.
defensive
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Oh my God, it's
All
Josh
right,
Allen.
what's that?
This
Happening.
one we have to do
guy. Bruce Smith.
Well, clearly.
Bruce Smith.
No
10
image for him.
sacks in a season for the Jets. Wasn't no. Oh crap. Who was the Jared Allen? Was he ever a Jet? I don't think he was he?
I don't think he was.
No.
I know he was like the
No.
Vikings and 49ers. but-
Honestly, no, there's no way Darrell Reeves had 10 sacks in a season. I know he's not in his
No.
career,
No.
but receiving touchdowns in a season, we can definitely do LaDainian
Oh yeah,
Tomlinson
Thompson was
here.
a Jet. I forgot about
Oh, really? Didn't have
What?
5 receiving touchdowns as LaDainian Tomlinson? Okay. We can do Brandon Marshall.
Oh yeah.
Question is, which Brandon
2006,
Marshall?
2006.
Yeah, 2006.
Yeah, he was
350
older.
passing yards in a game.
Sanchez.
Oh,
Sanchez, I wanna see-
Testaverde.
Oh, it'd be funny if Vinny Testaverde was on
Testaverde.
there.
Do Vinny Testaverde just for a fuck of it. No, dude, Vinny
No, not
Testaverde.
Vinny.
Come on.
Vinny Testaverde.
There he is.
From 87 to 2000.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, that's when he was with the freaking creamsicle Buccaneers. Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
350 pass yards in a game. Obviously, Josh Allen's an easy one. We could say we could also try to do Jim Kelly.
Yeah, I think
Good.
Jim Kelly did.
Yeah, 96.
90s, yeah.
Yeah.
5 receiving
Nice.
touchdowns in a season.
We just say Diggs.
We could say Diggs. We could probably say Gabe Davis. Honestly, did Dawson Knox get it? Yeah, there we go.
Oh,
Dawson Knox.
Okay.
So
10
Bryce
sacks.
Huff.
Bryce Huff.
Oh yeah, the guy. Oh yeah, I forgot the defensive end that just got traded from them.
Nope.
Okay, no, you didn't. Not yet.
Quentin. What's his last
Quentin
name?
Nelson?
No,
Are you trying to think of
no,
Nelson?
no. Big, really big defensive tackle that just got drafted 2 years ago by the Jets. His brother also plays for the Jets.
Quentin Nelson. No, it's Nelson.
Quinn-
Yeah, I think.
Something. It starts with a Q.
I know.
Quintez. I don't fucking know.
I gotta Google it. Well, we know what we're talking about. So
He's a defensive tackle. Yeah, he wore braces when he was doing a draft interview and he sneezed and he
Quinnen
like blessed him.
Williams.
Quinnen Williams. Right.
Quinnen Williams. Yeah. We know what we're talking about, so that's why I'm
that
Yeah,
Googling.
2019 to
Yeah.
2023, but that's 10 sacks for a DT, and he did get it already.
Enough.
He's good as
Alright.
fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, Aaron Rodgers. I guess he did play a game for the Jets.
Yeah.
That would make sense. Other guys,
No.
Stephon Diggs, Von Miller, Josh Allen,
Dude, that can't pass.
Yeah,
Ridley,
that can't pass.
T-Law.
All right. With that, let's go ahead and
Makes
transition into KDUF news.
Gonna be hijacked by Gorlami's absent ass again. No, I'm not. All right. Let's see. Starting out with a few injuries from the UFL. I think this one actually might be from last week. It's hard to find injury news from the UFL because the only one that comes up is on RotoWire, and you need a fucking subscription to get like the full info for it.
What the fuck?
I know it's the weirdest way to find it. I don't know why. Anyway, what I've got, all I've really got for that is Defenders running back Abram Smith out for the year with a torn ACL. That's fun. And questionables for this going into this week: Showboats tight end Wes Saxon with an ankle injury, and Roughnecks running back Mark Thompson with a knee injury. On to actual NFL signings. We've got a few leading up that occurred as we get towards draft season. They're signing former Bills backup guard Jermaine Ifedi on a 1-year deal. Cowboys are bringing in former Rams running back Royce Freeman also on a 1-year deal. The Green Bay Packers have signed former Titans offensive tackle Andre Dillard. We've got where was it? Oh, yeah, I mentioned this earlier. The Eagles, probably the biggest one of the week, re-signing wide receiver Devontae Smith on a 3-year deal worth $51 million, fully guaranteed. The 49ers have signed former Ravens cornerback Rock Ya-Sin on a 1-year deal. Oh, wait, that's actually all I have for signings. Yeah, kind of a light news this week as we lead up to draft stuff, because the rest is mostly just all the news I can find that are just on my normal channels I get through are like either like, oh my god, these are rumor trades are happening. Oh my god, here's a mock draft that some guy you've never heard of is going to offer is like going to be 100% accurate. But there are a few things. First off, being the former Ravens, I can't talk. I just had a stroke mid sentence. Holy shit. Former Ravens linebacker Terrell Suggs arrested in Arizona. This is in regards to an incident in March where he was reportedly seen brandishing a handgun during an altercation at Starbucks. He's facing charges of threatening and intimidating with a weapon and disorderly conduct. Other sort of punishment-related news: the NFL has reinstated 5 players that were indefinitely suspended last year for violating the league's gambling policy. Those being former Lions safety C.J. Moore, wide receiver Quintez Cephas, defensive tackle Demetrius Taylor, Colts linebacker Rashad Berry, and Commanders defensive end Shaka Tony. Let's see, other news. This one's kind of sad. University of Albany have announced that their defensive lineman A.J. Simon, who had declared for next week's draft, had suddenly passed away at the age of 25. No cause of death has been announced yet, but that's just rough news for a guy who could have had a promising career. He actually showed up on a few like New England sports pundit mock drafts that he was going to be like a later round pick for us. So that, I mean, either like what could have been is all I can say about that. So rip to him. Speaking of Patriots, a little bit of news has come out about them this week, especially after Patriots coach Bill Belichick announced he's going to be appearing with Pat McAfee on his show's coverage of the NFL draft next week as a guest analyst, which is probably the only job he's going to be getting this offseason, after rumors are then abound this week that a private conversation between Patriots and Falcons owners Robert Kraft and Arthur Blank scared Atlanta off from hiring Belichick over hiring Raheem Morris instead. Which, after the whole like documentary shit that came out where Kraft all but stabbed a knife in Belichick's back, is not a good look, which I'm not a fan of. But yeah, that's all I got.
Okay. Light little news week, but we'll have a lot more to cover next week due to the draft. So yeah, let's get ready for that in a certain way of speaking. Anyway, we'll move into the UFL breakdown here. We had 4 games. We'll start with a interesting one here.
Yes. How the XFL final last year should have ended.
Yeah. A comeback win by the DC
you,
Defenders. DC managed to make a strong comeback late in the game. Arlington did also try to rally their own, but was not able to. It was a 1-point victory for the defenders on a final second 49-yard field goal from McCrane. So DC getting a tight win there. Decent day around the board for them.
I think they made like 6 points like within the last 2 minutes, which was pretty insane.
Yep. Yeah. For their quarterback, Ta'amu, 11 for 24 for 188 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns, and a 139.1 rating. Only a 46 completion percentage, so not a great day for him, but also did make any interceptions, which is great. Was their leading rusher as well, 9 attempts, 53 yards, 17 yards long. Their only rushing touchdown was by Cameron Harris, 27 yards, 1 touchdown, 9 attempts. Receiving, 48 yards and 3 receptions for Ty Scott, 51 yards for 2 receptions for Kevin Harmon, a touchdown on 2 receptions for 36 yards by Chris Rowland, 2 for 22 for Cameron Harris, 17 on 1 catch for Alex Ellis, and 14 on 1 catch for Brandon Smith. Their defense also had a decent day. Let's see here. They only pulled out 1 sack, but 4 tackles for losses. And also their special teams proved very well. Their game-winning field goal was set up by a return all the way to the 35-yard line of the Renegade side of the field by their returner, Chris Rowland, right here, number 12. Rolling. Anyway, moving on to the Renegades. Luis Perez, 24 for 40 for 290, 2 touchdowns, and an amazing back shoulder throw late in the game. 60% completion percentage and 137.4 rating. We also had a special pass by Lindsey Scott Jr. Moving on to their rushing, Davon Smith, 63 yards and 14 attempts. Letty Brown, 40 yards on 10 attempts. And then Lindsey Scott Jr., 20 yards on 3 attempts and 1 touchdown. Then receiving, Tyler Vaughn's 109 yards, 1 touchdown, and 9 receptions. Sal Cannella, 48 for 4. Letty Brown, 36 for 4. J.P. Payton, 29 for 2. 2 for 29 and 1 touchdown. Deontay Burrett, 2 for 21. Juwan Magino, 2 for 19. Isaiah Winston, 1 for 12. Seth Green, 1 for 7. Their defense did come out with the same sack total, but only 2 tackles for losses. Weren't able to return the ball over much, but their total yards, if you look at the teams here, 419 for the Renegades, 259 for the defenders. Both these defenses struggled to stop the other team. Renegades were much more successful in what they were able to get done, but at the very end, it came down to key drives, both by special teams and by Tamu and the DC defenders' offense, and also a game-winning field goal for 49 yards, which is a pretty decent yardage. So great job there by the defenders to get the win in a close one. Any thoughts on this one, gentlemen?
I gotta say this, for the whole season right now, the kickers has been much better than it was last year.
Yeah.
Like, there was a big difference now. I don't know if it's just because the kickers themselves or some coaching. I don't know.
Part of it, I feel like, is at least in this game's case, is the kicker themselves. McCrane was a former Steeler at one point, so he's got some experience in that regard. So,
also, I think there's just going to be a surplus of kickers that are all NFL at least caliber to a degree, because I think all teams keep 1, maybe 2 kickers. And I'm not talking, so that's 32 to a maximum of 64 kickers, and there's not going to be 2 on every team. So that means there's a ton of kickers that get out of college. They're NFL caliber-ish, but they just don't make the cut because some teams just have good enough kickers. Like, some teams obviously should be looking at these, especially the kicker for Michigan Panthers. Like, he should be getting an NFL job over multiple NFL caliber kickers. But at the same time, there's just there's so few positions. Like, offensive linemen, guards and centers switch out constantly. Sometimes guards even switch to tackles. Tackles even switch sides. So there's a lot of different space for that. And the roster for those, usually you go 3 deep at each position, depending on the team. You know, there's tons of wide receivers. They can even be slotted as kick returners or punt returners. So there's a lot of space. Kickers, punters, and long snappers, there's 2 at most if you're lucky in each position. So this is a great way for them to get experience. And these might be the best players in the XFL if you kind of compare them to other positions. Like, these guys are just off the cusp of the NFL. Some of them are going to get pulled into it. Best kicker last year seemed like the kicker for the Cowboys, who was an XFL player that season. So there's a lot of opportunities for these kickers to get a good chance to show their talents and to get a job in the NFL as well, which is what this, at least the XFL, was designed to do. Moving on.
Oh yeah.
Did you
Memphis.
know, before we move on, they apparently make $50,000 a year for the season.
Kickers.
No, the UFL overall, like players.
All players make
Oh.
50.
Yeah, $50,000, and then I think it's like $400 per game for. I forget what the how you get that, but yeah,
Not horrible.
Huh.
not,
that like-
not horrible, but
Is that
I mean,
before
for like a short-
taxes? I'm
yeah,
guessing.
obviously,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's not like I mean those guys will have to be working other jobs.
Well, clearly, I mean, I only made about half that last year in taxes, so
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, that's definitely
they
enough to
don't- they
live
don't make
on, but
money.
it's not. You know, it's enough to live on, but it's definitely not like NFL money by any
Yeah.
means.
Yeah.
Right,
I don't know. What's the
Hopefully-
NFL minimum?
I mean-
there's an NFL league minimum that you can get paid. I think it's in the millions.
Is it?
No, oh,
Not
hold
like
on.
900K or something like that.
I think 900 or 800K. I think is the league minimum for that.
The minimum salary this year.
For a rookie, it's almost 800,000. 915,000 with players with at least 1 year experience.
Yeah, it scales between 795K for rookies up to 10 plus years of 1.2 million.
Because I remember Brock Purdy's contract per year is like 882,000 or something. Like it's not even $1 million.
California taxes.
Woo-wee!
He gets
I'm surprised.
$13
I am
per
honestly, I was surprised that Brock Purdy was able to throw a wedding. He like got married in early April. I'm surprised he had the money for that with California taxes and that. But I mean, still, 800,000 is definitely enough to.
Maybe married in like a fucking tax haven or something.
Maybe.
Went all the way to
All
Ireland
right.
to get married.
Anyway, Memphis Showboats continue their run of horrible football.
Yep.
They fall 14-33 to the USFL champions of last year, Birmingham Stallions. For the
Not
Showboats,
quite a blowout, but it's probably the worst loss so far of the league year. I mean,
yeah.
but that's 20, like 19 points.
We'll talk about rushing first. 20 total rush yards on 12 attempts. That is a horrible
O-line.
number on a
Holy
horrible
fuck.
number of attempts.
Dude,
It's not
that
even worth
O-line is
talking about.
terrible.
Yeah,
Like,
8
the
sacks
first
allowed,
series-
7 tackles for losses allowed, a fumble lost, 1 point, 1 turnover that the defense points off of. 1 turnover allowed that the defense scored on. So like this Memphis offense looks ass. It's bad. It's
Yeah.
bad. 8 sacks allowed is horrible.
Looks like ass, smells like ass, sounds like ass. It's
Yeah.
fucking
Sounds
ass.
like Memphis.
Case Cookus, 15 for 22 for 139 and a touchdown and 68 completion percentage for 136.3 rating. And then Troy, also another quarterback they tried out, 19 for 11 for 99 yards, 1 interception, 91.1 rating. They're receiving Jonathan Adams, 6 for 49. Sage Surratt, 4 for 40. Titus Swen, 4 for 37. Vinny Papale, 3 for 38 and a touchdown. Darius Victor, 3 for 24. D. Anderson, 2 for 27. David Davis, 2 for 13. And Lee Morris, 1 for 9, as well as DeAndre Overton, 1 for 1. Moving on to the Stallions, former Nebraska Cornhusker and Kansas State Wildcat Adrian Martinez, 18 for 28 for 334 yards, 2 touchdowns, a 64% completion percentage, and 188.1 quarterback rating. Following that up, he was also the lead rusher, only 5 attempts, 44 yards, 1 touchdown, it's an 8.8 average on the ground. This guy tore it up for the Stallions. Other rushers, Ricky Pearson Jr., 8 for 37 and a touchdown, and CJ Marable, 10 for 19. Marable, yeah. They had 100 rushing yards in total, 5 times the amount of Memphis. Moving on to the Stallions receiving, Deion Kane, 7 for 144. A great performance there. Jace Sternberger, 4 for 73 and a touchdown. Ricky Parsons Jr., 2 for 39. CJ Marable, 2 for 10. Marlon Williams, 1 for 41 and a touchdown. Benjamin Victor, 1 for 16. Kevin Austin Jr., 1 for 11. This was a flat-out domination on both sides of the ball. Adrian Martinez went crazy, led the team in passing, obviously, as well as rushing, had a touchdown in each category. Not to mention Deion Kane also went off. 144 receiving yards on 7 catches is disgusting. He was the MVP of the USFL or the USFL championship game last year, so he's on track to look like a forerunner for the offensive player of the year in the UFL, so we'll see how that goes for him. Probably might be in the lead now. This is an amazing performance, and Adrian McCarron had a very blah day this week, as we'll get into. But at the same time, the defense was amazing. 8 sacks, 7 tackles for losses. They got 6 points off of a turnover. I mean, look at the total yardage. That's over double.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just over double. Like, Birmingham showed up and showed out. This definitely still seems like the team to beat. Birmingham seems like the team to beat. They look like a juggernaut, and with a guy like Adrian Martinez, only a year removed from college, who's performing very well, and a defense clicking on all cylinders, albeit against a papier-mâché Swiss cheese grater line like Memphis, it's still very good. So, yeah, you picked the wrong team to support, Macedon. Goddamn.
It was just a close to me, and I was not going to support DC.
Yeah, yeah, fair enough. All right, next up, Michigan Panthers, a 14-point win against the Roughnecks. Definitely wasn't as far a part of a game as it seems. Houston was able to kind of stay in this game for a minute, but the second half came around and Michigan flipped the script. They were only up by 1, and they scored 22 points in the third quarter and held off a attempted comeback by Houston in the fourth. For Houston, Reed Sennett, 19 for 28 for 197, a touchdown and 1 pick, and 131.6 rating. Nolan Henderson also 3 for 4 for 12 yards and 100.2 quarterback rating. For rushing, TJ Pledger the fourth, 14 for 34. Reed Sennett, 5 for 19 and a touchdown, and then Tyon Evans, 1 rush, no yards. Receiving for the Roughnecks, Cyril? Wow, yeah. I've never seen
Cyril Grayson, yeah.
Yeah, Cyril. I've never seen that for Cyril. Cyril Grayson, 5 for 40. Justin Hall, 5 for 35 and a touchdown. TJ Pledger the fourth. That is a cool name. TJ Pledger the fourth. That sounds like a royal Welsh king or something from like the 300s.
Sounds like something they do at like the Keegan-Michael Key like sketch or like TJ Pledger the fourth.
TJ Pledger the fourth. Wake University. Fucking Emmanuel Butler, 3 for 63. Kiki Chisholm. That's another. God dang it. Kiki Chisholm? Kiki Chisholm?
Kiki Chisholm. Boston College.
Stephen Dunbar Jr. Wake Forest. Why am I saying Wake Forest?
Bro,
I don't know.
CIOC Mariner. Georgia Atlantic University.
I got some key.
Matthew Colburn the second. Michigan University.
Norfolk State.
Norfolk State. All right. Then moving on to passing, I was actually.
North Texas University.
I was very impressed at EJ Perry's improvement. Looked really rough the last 2 weeks. This week he really turned it on. Yeah. 16 for 19 for 208, 1 touchdown, no picks, 84% completion percentage, and a 193.5 rating. He also led the way rushing. 9 attempts, 60 yards, 2 touchdowns. And a 12-yard was his longest run. Their other running back, Matthew Corbin II, 9 for 28 and a touchdown, as well as Wes Hills, 15 for 23. That is a lot of attempts, not a little bit of yards. This is that is like fucking fullback numbers. Damn. And then Danny Eitling, 3 for 13, 124 yards in total. Again, the past 2 games we've looked at, the team that run the ball, better effect, won the game. Michigan Panthers receiving, Trey Quinn, 5 for 48. Marcus Sims, 4 for 84 and a touchdown. Matthew Corbin, Colburn. I almost said Coldburn. Matthew Colburn the second, 2 for 14. Wes Hills, 2 for 5. Devin Gray, 1 for 26. COC Mariner. COC Mariner. COC Mariner, 1 for 25. Cole. I need to give you guys a button so when I can't pronounce a name, you guys just click it and it just plays a clip randomly from the Key and Peele skit.
My favorite is TJ Pledger the
fourth. Anime character.
Alabama.
TJ Pledger the fourth. TJ Pledger the fourth. Northwest Alabama University.
TJ AJ RJ / fourth.
Yeah, but what did you say, Kino? That's a name of what? For who?
Sounds like an anime character, Hikutini.
Which one? No, that's COC.
Well, either of them. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, also sacks. There weren't many this game. 2 by the Panthers, but also 7 tackles for loss. So great performance on their defense there. And that's kind of what secured the victory for him was the halftime adjustment, putting 22 points in the third quarter and continuing to play decent enough defense to stop the Houston Roughnecks from mounting any sort of a comeback. So great job by the Panthers there. Not to mention also one of the kicks for this. If you go to special teams here. Punting, kick returns, field goals. Yeah, Jake Bates, 55 and 46.
Oh my god.
Let this motherfucker cook. Goodness gracious.
Justin Tucker sweating in his boots. Holy
Oh my god.
I won't say sweating his boots.
Yeah.
Justin Tucker already got paid. He's
I mean, the Bengals are good on a kicker. I'm very still happy with Evan McPherson's performances. But at the same time, if the fucking Packers don't get this motherfucker a $1 million contract for 10 years, I don't know what's good in the world anymore.
Oh yeah, Gorlami's gonna be screaming and crying if they don't sign this guy.
Yeah. And the last game, fuck. I should have worn it today, but my dad has gotten quite into the UFL as well, and they have better merch options and prices now. So he actually got a St. Louis Battlehawks shirt shipped, and they said it was like a deal if you bought a decent amount of the NFL or UFL gear. So he bought me and my wife Brahmas shirts. Just says Vamos Brahmas
nice.
and the little logo. So yeah, it's nice.
That's cool.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to wear them. We're going on a family vacation together late in the summer, and we're all going to be there during the final game of the season, which for the Brahmas is against the Battlehawks. So I think it'll be fun to be yelling at each other because we always support the same team. So it's kind of funny to be supporting 2 different teams within the same family. But anyway, 31-24, the final score. Battlehawks get a win against the Brahmas in a game that I will describe as Tom Brady's wet dream. And what I mean by that is the amount of check downs. Oh my goodness. 19 for 27 for A.J. McCarron, 152 yards, 1 touchdown, 70% completion rating, 129.9 yards. 152 yards on 19 completions is crazy.
He heard Brady wanted to come back to the league. Like, I can check down too. Watch.
Yeah. Then on the other side, the San Antonio Brahmas, Chase Gerber Baby Garbers, 27 for 41 for even less yardage. 143 yards on 27 completions is a 66% completion percentage and 103.2 rating. The Gerber Baby, like check down after check down. Like they were like I was watching this game, they would look into the second level once and then throw it down. Sometimes they would sit back and they would look in the second level. They would immediately turn and look at the running back who was on a Texas or a scat route and just dump it to him. So,
St. Louis won with it though.
I mean, yeah, but like, it was like when the Patriots beat the Rams at the Super Bowl and the final score was like 10-3 or something.
Okay, that wasn't because checkdowns, just because both offenses were ass in that
Yes.
Super Bowl.
For the rushing for the Battlehawks, Jacob Saylor 7 for 62 and a touchdown, Mateo Durant 8 for 30, and AJ McCarron 4 for 21 and a touchdown. A funny tweet I saw from one of AJ McCarron's brothers is that he said, "Please pray for our family because we will never hear the end of this," because AJ McCarron scored a rushing touchdown. Thought that was quite funny. Hakeem Butler receiving 8 for 6 and a touchdown. Darius Shepard 19 for 3, Mateo Durant 5 for 3. Kamari Everett 9 for 2, Jamarcus Bradley 7 for 2, Jacob Taylor's 1 for 11, Marshall Aitman 1 for 3, and Jake Sutherland 1 for 1. Moving on to the rushing for the Brahmas, John Lovett 12 for 41 and a touchdown, Anthony McFarland 9 for 39 and a touchdown. Not that Anthony McFarland. Bryson Aline, I believe.
Alien.
Aline 4 for 12, Chase Garbers 3 for 10. Jonte Kirkland 8 for 52, Cody Latimer 7 for 58, Marquez Stevenson 4 for 13, Anthony McFarland 3 for 24, Justin Smith 3 for 7, John Lovett 1 for 2, Elise Mack 1 for 2, and Bryson Aline 1 for 0. I feel like I've heard the name Bryson Aline before. I feel like that's like a baseball player or something, but I don't know.
He might have been on the team last year.
In
one of the.
It seemed like a better defensive days, as the numbers would say. Less time possession for the Battlehawks, more sacks for the Brahmas, also more tackles for losses. The fumbles were also higher for the Battlehawks. So in everything, it should have been a good day for. Should have been a good day for the Brahmas, but it just didn't turn out that way. Wasn't able to really pull themselves back up by their bootstraps and win the game late. Their late game heroics did not succeed. So the Battlehawks did get the win in again, Tom Brady's wet dream of a football game. So, but yeah, that is week 3 in the UFL. Let me go ahead and look real quick. Let me see if I can find the UFL standings so we can see.
Ooh, it's actually
Yep, here it is.
mostly
Boom.
close.
There it is. All right, so in the XFL conference, the Battlehawks are on top 2-1. They hold the tiebreaker over the Brahmas, who are also 2-1. DC is 2-1 as well, but the Brahmas hold the tiebreaker over them since the Brahmas beat the Defenders. And Arlington is crying at the bottom at 0-3. Moving on, Birmingham is undefeated at 3-0 in the USFL conference. Michigan Panthers are 2-1. Then Memphis 1-2, and Houston is also crying since they lost their entire coaching staff to a better organization. Sorry about it. But yeah, there we go. That is the week 3 and the wrap up of the UFL. Let's go ahead and do our predictions for next week.
What is next week?
Yep, here we go. Masson, before we start, why don't you list us out the standings?
So Lob, you are 12-3, went 3-1 this week. Mamba is 6-7. He went 5-0 this week.
Oh, let's go!
I am 11-3. I went 3-1 this week. Gorlami is 14-3. He went 6-0 this
Dang,
week.
14
And
last.
No, Mamba's still last. Kaduf is 11-3 and went 5-0 this week.
Thanks, Muzzy, for fucking me.
You fucked yourself in the first week too.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fair.
You had no wins. Well, Muzzy actually gave you 1 win.
Thank you, Muzzy.
Thank you, and simultaneously fuck you, Muzzy.
Yeah, let's see here. Boy. Memphis and St. Louis. I don't think this is much of a decision for me. This is St. Louis at home, so I'm going to take St. Louis this one by 15. Mamba.
Sorry, I'm spacing out. Give me the Battlecocks by 7. You already know it.
Oh, it could be a tough game that Memphis could try to come back from, and yeah, no, I'm not keeping a straight face. St. Louis by 14.
Showboat's more like show bloats because they're bloated as hell.
You guys need to be a little bit easier on the showboats, right? I mean, in case Cook could have a comeback event week next time and only lose by 19 points.
Yeah.
Battlehawks by 19.
Next up, and again, the first 3 games. The first 3 games are all actually on Saturday. So there's a 12 o'clock game and then 2 games going at the same time. DC and Michigan are both being played at the same time, and only 1 on Sunday. What is on
the same channel?
Yeah, I think there's like Fox Sports and Fox Sports 1 or 2 or something. So yeah, there's something going on.
Weird.
Something going on Sunday. Some like big sporting event that they're not putting 2 of them in one. Like the Masters is over. Is that a fucking NASCAR race?
Maybe NHL playoffs.
They are starting up soon.
The NBA playoffs are also starting. The play-in's going on.
Yeah, they just did their play and stuff, and fucking Warriors and Heat are out. I love it.
Okay, so yeah, the first games for round 1 of the playoffs for NHL start Saturday, and then they have a couple on Sunday.
Okay,
that might be why.
Anyway, back to the UFL. DC and Birmingham. This is in Birmingham. I'll take the home team, the Stallions. I'll take them in a bit of a close one. DC can't put up a good fight. I'll take them only by 5 here.
All right. Give me those beer snakes by 7.
The lemons.
It's gonna be. I think Birmingham's gonna be just a little too much, but pretty close. Birmingham by 3.
I'm gonna reverse that. Defenders by 3. It'll be a close one, but I feel like we can pull it off.
All right, Michigan Panthers versus San Antonio Brahmas from the Alamo Dome, the great Alamo Dome in San Antonio, Texas. I'm going to take the Brahmas, the home team in this one. I think they will be able to expose EJ Perry. He's very confident last week. I think that we can turn that down. We can put some pressure on him and make him really cough up the ball. I'm going to take him by 10 in this one. A good defensive performance from Wade Phillips and the Brahmas.
Actually, I wanna go Panthers. Give me the Michigan Panthers by 7 again.
San Antonio by 8.
Brahmas by 10, I think.
All right, and then to cap it all off, the fuck it, somebody's got to win bowl. Arlington and Houston, both 0-3 from Houston, Texas. I like what Luis Perez has been able to do so far this season on a losing team. His stats still look very good, and he does throw a great ball for that reason. I'm going to take an overtime victory for the Renegades by 3.
Nah, I want my Rough Cocks by 7.
Doesn't even fit with a fucking joke.
Yes, it does. Shush.
2 words. Tank Bowl.
Tank Bowl.
Tang Bowl.
Arlington by 4.
Arlington by 4, all right. And K-Duff.
Give me the Renegades by 7.
Alrighty.
That's the best I can think of right now.
That wraps up our coverage for week 3 and our predictions for week 4. And with that, we're going to move straight into the mock draft. I think everything's set up here, K-Duff, right?
Pretty much. All you just need to do is enter draft, and it's not going to start immediately when you click it. So I've had a little bit of experience with this, so I'll explain how things go. Like, you'll start the draft, and it'll automatically, and because you've chosen that we're going to be picking all teams for the first round of the draft, you'll basically be able to pick whatever you want with no time limit. So we have plenty of time to discuss it. As for trades go, which because I got us the upgrade so we can actually do that because you have to fucking subscribe to do that. What the fuck, PFF? There are ways to trade it. It's pretty simplified, as you can see right there. Like, say if Washington want to trade up, you just like choose if you want to like trade a pick, next year's pick, or a player, or you can even force a trade. So yes, you can trade with the fucking Patriots or Cardinals or Chargers lob and get your precious tight end Brock Bowers if you wanted. And yeah,
Cincinnati's not known for trading up, aren't they?
Exactly. That's why I feel like they're not going to do it without trading up. And Duke Tobin's not going to let that happen. But he's still fucking obsessed with the guy. So, I mean, who am I to say no?
This is really weird because I'm clicking here, select player. It's a completely white list that I can't see anybody in until I move my cursor up. Yeah, like you guys can't see it either. It's weird. It's like a separate tab that's popping up or something. That's weird. But anyway, I don't think we're doing a ton of trades. We're kind of seeing what each team will pick. So on the clock first, we click start draft, right? Then we just go from there.
Start there.
All right. So I think we can all agree it's Caleb Williams.
Well, I mean, let's get the obvious one out of the way.
Yeah.
They're definitely picking
JJ McCarthy.
No. They're picking Jason Bean out of Kansas.
Now,
so Sam Howell's been moved. So there's a big space in free agency. So
right.
I still think it's Drake May here.
No, I don't. Well, I mean, that's the thing, because I've been covering that footage. You can also filter by position, so you go quarterback. Yeah. What I've been seeing more often is that Jaden Daniels, because of the Heisman Trophy thing and coming from a better known football school, going up.
That is true.
Yeah.
I could see them going with either. Ron Rivera hasn't been fired, has he?
No, he's gone. It's Dan Quinn now.
That's Dan Quinn.
So
right.
The Commanders, I feel like they could go anywhere because they had literally all 4 quarterbacks that could be taken behind Caleb Williams visit them this week. So I feel like they've been keeping their options open, but I feel like they're really leaning into Jaden Daniels, which kind of sucks because I like him, but I don't know if they're going to super high on Drake May. But so when you get to the Patriots, now there's, if I may, there's been a few things that have been coming up from mock drafts here. The first, I don't really see us trading away the pick, even though they keep saying that we're keeping their options open. Elliot Wolf has said we might shop it a little, but we're also extremely interested on quarterbacks. And some of that I've been seeing, now bear with me on the will, because you know this guy a little better than I do. Picking JJ McCarthy over Drake May.
I think it's much better because do you trust UNC QBs?
Also,
the last one that got picked this high was Mitch Trubisky. So
you have the two things. Drake May's numbers look better, but it's in the ACC. What was good in the ACC this year? Florida State? Yeah. What else?
Yeah.
Boston College? Clemson?
That's not really saying too much. But yeah.
I'm trying to see
Like-
what was UNC's schedule.
Also, May's comparison. I've been seeing everyone's comparing from anything from Justin Herbert to Josh Allen.
He's not big enough to be a Josh Allen, I don't think. He doesn't seem that
So
menacing.
I feel like
who
more
they
like
faced-
personality-wise more than
So who they
size-wise.
faced against was South Carolina, App State,
against Rattler.
Minnesota, Pittsburgh, Syracuse, Miami, UVA, Georgia Tech. I don't know why they had a Campbell game in the middle of the season. That's weird. Duke, Clemson, NC State, and then West Virginia in the bowl.
Yeah, like Georgia Tech had a decent year. Syracuse had a decent year. South Carolina has potential, but they never showed up. So I mean, then you look at McCarthy, and yes, he wasn't the number one guy in that offense like most quarterbacks are nowadays. It was more Blake Corum rotated in with Donovan Edwards and that offensive line clearing the way. But McCarthy still has the ability to make great passes. So either one of them, I think, is a fine idea. I think McCarthy has a bigger upside, and I think you can probably see what May's ceiling is. McCarthy has a much wider, you don't know what's going to happen. There's a lot of speculation with it. So,
I mean, the pro and con of it from being a Patriots fan. Last time we drafted a guy who won a national championship, it turned into Mac Jones. But last time we drafted a Michigan quarterback, it turned into Tom Brady. So I feel like we might want to roll the dice on that again, in my opinion.
I'll go with that. Yeah, JJ McCarthy. Boom. So now, since the quarterback situation in Arizona is pretty much set, Kyler Murray seems like he's going to be the guy of the future. He has the talent. I don't think he has the mentality, but he has the talent. I feel like the easy pick here is Marvin Harrison. If they need a wide receiver, he's the guy that's going to fill that hole. Yeah. Marvin Harrison, best player
the guy who
in this
was
draft.
originally the wide receiver one was Hollywood Brown, and he's now a Chief, so you got to get somebody. I mean, who else but think? Now for the Chargers,
there's a lot of options.
Really they're not rolling with Quentin Nelson for the rest of the way, so I feel like they might go wide receiver and take somebody like Odunze or Neighbors.
Yeah, Adonai Mitchell jumped up in the rankings because of his speed, but it's I think just the full complete package is Odunze or Neighbors. Yeah.
I've been seeing debates online whether it's actually going to be Harrison or Neighbors that is the first one off the board. I mean, we know the Cardinals are taking Harrison Jr., but apparently people really like what Neighbors brings to the skill set over Odunze.
I think it'll be Neighbors. I think Neighbors will be the pick here. It'll be a good pick for them.
Yeah.
But also, actually, no. Rome Odunze will be the pick. Because I think, well, who's the coach of the Chargers?
It's Jim
Harbaugh. And who did he play in the championship? Washington. He probably saw Rome Odunze firsthand. I feel like that could mean something a little bit more to him. With these guys being this close in the ranking, I feel like that could be the nudging edge. I think. Little intuition there.
I mean, maybe.
Also, probably Spano's going to pick something random.
Yeah.
Now for the Giants, do they derp and take May, or do they go a different direction?
Yeah.
Get May.
Yeah, it's kind of.
I think they need a QB. I mean, the problem is Danny Dimes. They're adding another
Tommy DeVito too.
This quarterback room is just gonna become the Backstreet Boys, fucking so weird.
Not NSYNC because it's gonna be May.
Oh yeah, NSYNC would be a good one. Yeah, just three zesty ass white boys in a fucking room. I don't get it.
Zesty ass.
I don't get it. Got fucking Vanilla Vic. You got the Paisan himself, and then Drake May. So yeah, it's like the Rings of Power. They just got to find one other funny white quarterback, bring Eli Manning back, and then they're in business. They'll have the power gauntlet. All right, moving on to the
Rings of Power. There's
Titans.
3 pretty L's.
So Titans, their major needs: wide receiver, O-line, edge rusher, or D-backs.
Now, yes, Malik Neighbors is still in the draft. However, I think this is where Joe Alt might be taken.
I agree.
Because it's either that or they get an edge rusher. It's either Alt or edge rusher.
I feel like they'll just keep strengthening that O-line. I mean, they got who's the fucking kid they drafted last year? Skoronski. They
Yeah.
got Cushenberry who's probably like the best center in this free agency class.
So they put that together with
I feel like they
Alt.
keep adding to that with Joe Alt in there too.
Yep. And then we move on
Falcons.
to the Falcons. Now,
Do they finally
Hmm.
take the first defensive player of the draft, or do they go a different direction?
I think
As
one of
they
their
go?
needs is a defensive line and a cornerback. Now, there could be doing a
Go to
lot of different
analysis.
things.
It can give us some other ideas because there's a name I'm blanking on. Dallas Turner, right? The guy he's a edge rusher at Alabama.
Right.
I mean, edge rusher.
They could be funny. They could draft Cooper
Major
DeJean
name?
because then they would have a white boy quarterback and a white boy cornerback. That'd be kind of funny. But I mean,
or they go for a funny name in Laiatu Latu here.
Laiatu Latu, yeah. But I think they need.
Yeah, they could go They could go a lot of different ways with this pick, honestly.
Yeah.
I forget. Do they still have? What's his name? Ravens defensive lineman that they had last season. Calais Campbell. They still have him, I believe.
Was Campbell on the Falcons last year?
I believe he was. Yeah, he's a great run-stopping defensive lineman. Defensive end, really.
On looking, Grady Jarrett, David Animata, Taquan Graham, Contavia Street, Zach Harrison, Lakel London, Tommy Togaya, Willington, Previan, Eddie Goldman, James Smith-Williams, Lorenzo Carter, Arnold Ibikiti.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything from Calais being on the.
He's a
Falcons.
free agent. He was on the Falcons, so that's probably why they need a defensive lineman. So I feel like they'll try to fill that hole.
Okay.
Campbell was a defensive end, so I feel like.
So they could go D end.
Yeah, I feel like Dallas Turner
Turner
might be
or
the option
Latu.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There he is.
I feel like that would be the best option for them.
That's
Now,
the latest Alabama player's been taken in a while too.
going back to the Bears.
We're not picking up a wide receiver. There's no way.
There's no way. There's no way
you can
because
have Neighbors
there's no
faulty,
way.
though,
We'd
I'm just
be
saying.
dumb.
yeah,
It's gonna be D-line.
it's probably going to be defensive line here, or they could throw an offensive line in there. They still have Oluwume Fashanu at tackle. That's a really good prospect. This motherfucker is strong as hell.
Latham, Fuaga.
Yeah. But at the same time, I feel like Lathu is a good option here. You need defensive line. This is a good edge rusher. You guys don't have any good edge rush. Montez Sweat was good, but he's more of an interior rush. You guys haven't had a good edge rush since Malik. Khalil Mack was there, so I feel like this is the best option is Lathu out of UCLA.
Probably your best one, yeah.
Now,
After the Jets. The
Jets.
JETS, baby.
Malik Neighbors is still on the list, so I feel like this is just the best option.
True.
This is probably
But
the
their
biggest snub.
O-line was ass.
They've done a lot of upgrading of that in free agency already.
Yeah.
The question is, do they continue to upgrade that, or do they go for the weapon and Malik Neighbors
So,
is falling to
I mean,
I
they
feel
need
like-
to protect Rodgers.
I feel like they still can do that with what they have. I think they need another wide receiver option for him, and Malik Neighbors is going to be a great pick for them there. Now, moving on to the Vikings, they need to go quarterback here, and they have two great options, Nix or Penix. Both older, but at the same time, both very talented.
both guys that I feel like have been interchangeable for like that fifth best guy in the draft role. So
yeah,
the question is, which would you prefer? The guy who made it to a college championship, or just a
Penix Jr. had
good guy from
so many more weapons. I think Bo Nix is a better quarterback. Like Penix is good, but he was exposed by the Michigan defense crazily.
True.
Bo Nix is very confident and poised. I think they're gonna go with Bo Nix here. Then it would move on to the Broncos, who need a quarterback as well. So now,
Penix,
do they go for
then-
Penix, or do they wait
yeah.
for the later round and take?
I
like,
feel
a
like
Rattler
these could be
Brett?
just swapped. Either ones,
Right.
yeah.
Now,
And
the
then that
Raiders.
leaves the Raiders, who also need a quarterback.
So,
but do they take
yeah,
one here?
but you
or do
can't
they
really
move
justify
on?
taking one this high. The next one, running backs, also not really too much.
And then Mitchell's available. Don't really need that. They need.
They could go cornerback, I think, and maybe take like a Quinion Mitchell or a Dijon. So, because that's a need for them. Or they go for Talise Fuaga here.
Ooh.
Yeah, might be a good option for them there. Might be a good option.
Yeah.
I think that's
Maybe.
the best one for them there. Yeah, Fluaga. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I would draft Fashanu better, but I don't know what PFF is exactly. I mean, they have some great tactics and everything like that, but at the same time, Fluaga seems like a great option there. So, pick for them there. And then the Saints.
Tackle, wide receiver, D-line are the major needs.
Adonai Mitchell is still available, 22 overall.
Adonai Mitchell is available.
He's very fast. I feel like people could catch on to him like John Ross, kind of. Tackle defensive lineman. They still have some good tackles like Fashanu, Patanu.
And D-line too. You got Jerjon Newton, Byron Murphy.
Yeah. Didn't he drop? I feel like it is. I thought there was something about Murphy.
I've been seeing him rise.
I thought there was a Texas player that got arrested recently or something. One of the draft picks. I thought it was Byron Murphy. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on this.
I don't know. I got it. It's Tavondre Sweat. He's another D-line. He's another D-line, but I think he's like a later round pick.
Yeah, I don't even see him in the top little bit. So, quarterback, wide receiver, defensive lineman. Now, there are still some decent quarterbacks that have some upside here. Spentler Rattler looks very good. Jordan Travis, obviously, you'd have to wait a year. And they also have...
Joe Milton's in there.
Right, but the Saints still have Derek Carr, so they could give Travis a year to rehabilitate and draft him here, though that's a pretty high pick for him. Then you start getting into some other ones. Sam Hartman's down there. Tulia Tagovailoa. Yeah. There's a lot of options, but at the same time, like this is 77th rank overall at a 14th pick seems a little interesting.
It feels like drafting Colt Strange 28th overall to me.
So I feel like, look at their analysis. Olamide Fashanu. Yeah. Strong, built, incredibly
decent
talented
blocking
tackle.
Grades.
Oh, yeah.
I would probably take him.
Moving on to the Colts. They need a wide receiver, but they also need a defensive back, and they have two good options starting out. Cooper DeJean and Quinion Mitchell. So it looks like they're saying
really
Quinion...
the kid out of Toledo. So
Quinion Mitchell or Cooper DeJean. So
either or.
Yeah, I think it's going to be either or. So I feel like they'll probably go with Quinion Mitchell. That's just my guess. Toledo's a lot closer than Iowa. Maybe that factors into it somehow. Moving on then to the Seahawks. They need some line help. Guard, center. Yeah, their analysis.
Center, edge rusher. So Laiatu's gone. He's already gone. Fautanu, they can keep him in state. Jared Verse, the guy out of Florida State. I've been seeing another one where I've been seeing a mock draft where they take the Oregon center Jackson Powers Johnson, but I feel like that's a little too high.
He's very good though. Jackson Powers Johnson is a very talented. I've watched some of his film. He very, very smart. Was able to pick up things very quickly as far as blitz and different offensive line coverages. But
yeah. At the same time, though, I don't know what their center deal is right now. I know they need to work on the O-line, but I don't know what.
I feel like this is going to be an O-line pick, regardless of what happens here. This is an O-line pick, whether it's Fautanu or it's Powers Johnson, or if they throw in somebody else, Barton, Latham. So I think we'll put Fautanu in here because he's the best option.
Sure.
Just for them now, and then a similar situation, I think, for the Jags.
Well, they got Mitch Morse for center, from the Bills, so I feel like they're fine on that regard. So I feel like this is going to be a defensive pick. They could go.
Oh yeah, I guess it is. Cornerback, and there's DeJean's here still, and he's a higher ranked quarterback. So there we go.
But what was it that they had? Oh,
well,
I was say what was there?
All right, Lob.
Brock Bowers. I'm saying you, Duke Tobin. It works. It just works. Brock Bowers falls with us, so we pick him up.
It works when you manipulate the draft yourself.
Has this been manipulative in any way? No one on this list outside of...
I'm just saying.
Outside of the Chargers, no one else needs a tight end here. Maybe you could also... I mean, the Vikings, yes, but they're going to need a quarterback first. If a team needs a quarterback, they're going to draft that usually first. Okay, so then the Rams needs a quarterback, but that's kind of in the future. They still have Stafford. Yeah. Tackle, defensive line, linebacker,
focus is replacing Aaron Donald. I feel like this is where a D lineman goes.
So Zar Newton, Byron Murphy. There's some options here. Defensive tackle.
Jared Verse could probably go.
Yeah, they're saying Byron Murphy is a popular pick among the fans.
Even over Newton, who still hasn't gone yet.
Yeah. So I think that's the best option here. I don't really think there's too much else. Any other cornerbacks kind of drop Nate Wiggins, so we'll take Byron Murphy there, I
Arnold,
guess.
Yeah, we'll go. Let's go for it.
Yeah. Then the Steelers, Mims, a tackle out of Georgia.
Go tackle again. Okay. Didn't they go tackle out of Georgia last year with
No,
Broderick Jones?
No, he was in Alabama.
You need a tackle.
No,
J.C. Latham is still on at 18 ranking overall. They don't need a defensive lineman. They do need a cornerback, so Arnold could be an option there, but
I remember watching U-Tree and his group do their mock draft. He blatantly said that he'd be happy if they got a guy like Mims or Latham. So
yeah.
I feel like they're going to go tackle.
I do think the Steelers do prioritize their line very heavily. They've always had decent offensive lines at worst. So
yeah.
So I think we'll
100%.
put them there. Then for the Miami Dolphins, we need O-line, defensive line. It looks like Zahar Newton's probably the best fit. No linemen to get the Mims.
Yeah, their
Jashawn,
defense.
yeah.
They lost a lot of defensive pieces free agency. They just lost who is that guy? Fucking
Mike Gesicki?
No, not Gesicki.
No.
The D lineman that went to the Raiders. I'm blanking on his name. He had a great year last year.
Fuck.
Chris Watkins.
Wilkins.
Yes.
Wilkins. Yes.
But Chris isn't that?
Yeah.
It's not Chris.
So Christian Wilkins.
Christian Wilkins. Yeah, it is Chris.
Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah. So John Newton seems like a good pick here. He's also the fans' favorite pick. Seems like a good spot there. Then on to the Eagles, whose biggest
what's the analysis
wide
that they're saying for what does?
I feel like you go cornerback.
Cooper DeJean. Kool-Aid.
You really going
Ministry.
Oh, yeah, the funniest name of the. Now that's the Key and Peele name of the draft. Kool-Aid McKinstry.
Right,
Like,
but
I want
Terran Arnold's.
It's either defensive back or a linebacker at this spot.
Right, and I feel like 14th ranked Terran Arnold.
Yeah, whoever's the highest
If you
rated.
scroll down, I feel like the only linebacker that could be justified going this high is a kid out of NC State. I think his name's Peyton Wilson.
Yep.
Yeah, there he is.
Yeah, which in that case they give him a second round, I think. Yeah.
Right.
So,
If he stays in the second round, because
So
you
the
go Terran
Vikings
Arnold.
drafted a quarterback, so now they also need other help in other different places here. People were saying everyone wants.
Wait, they taking Penix at 23 if they don't go 11.
Yeah. Michael Penix.
That'd be funny.
Nate Wiggins, cornerback. That's actually might be a good pick. Nate Wiggins at cornerback.
That actually doesn't sound terrible.
yeah.
Yeah. They need some defensive back help. Nate Wiggins showed much promise. Let's see here. Grades by game.
Forced incompletions.
Does it say
and coverage stops.
First look 6'2". That's pretty tall for cornerback. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely
you can go with that.
Now
The Cowboys, boy, do they need everything.
Analysis.
Give him a kicker. Fuck him.
Jackson Powers Johnson.
They did lose Tyler Biadasz in his free agency, so
and that is a good
could
pick.
replace him there.
And that's like the top center on the board, and he's a talented guy out of Oregon.
They lost Tyron Smith, if I remember right, too.
Their whole O-line was just decimated and went to the Commanders, funny enough.
So they could get Mims or Barton.
Johnson.
Yeah.
Zach Frazier. That's another one.
Mims.
I feel like it's either between Mims or
seems like Jackson Powers Johnson. So I think I'll trust the fans here because they probably have more smarts than Jerry Jones. So,
all right.
Then for the Packers,
why
does everyone want Cooper DeJean? He's a white cornerback out of Iowa. Holy shit!
White Bronco cornerback, of course.
And also, they need safeties, not corner. Like these are corners. You guys need you guys need to replace David Bakhtiari. You guys should be drafting Ernest Mims. Yes, give him Mims.
Fuck it.
Yeah.
The Buccaneers. They need a big lot of everything, but they lost a lot of like D-line and linebacker pieces in free agency. I feel like this is where they go for like an edge rusher or something.
Verse is still there. There's also Kool-Aid McKinstry, who's still a very good pick.
You could justify Peyton Wilson here, maybe.
Yeah, good linebacker.
guard or center. I mean, yeah, they've been needing that help a lot, especially after their what's the guy that no, what's the guard that keeps getting hurt? Alex Kappa.
Okay, yeah.
Alex
I
Kappa
think
is
he's
a
medical.
Bengal. He's been a Bengal for 2 years
Oh,
now.
right. Fucking what's his name? What's the name of their center that kept
Ryan
getting
Jensen.
hurt?
He's retired.
Jensen, thank you.
I believe he's retired at least.
He's medically retired.
Oof.
You wouldn't be justified taking a running back this high, I think, this draft.
My wife just texted me, by the way, we're having Rasheed Walker as our left tackle. Who is that?
I'd ask Gorlami, but
He was back
again,
up,
not here.
took over.
Oh, okay. Yeah. When Jenkins,
Okay.
yeah.
Yo, you should have your wife on instead of Gorlambi to replace.
I've asked her if she ever wants to be on to give like a Packers 2 cents. She's
Ask
like,
her
nah.
how she feels about drafting Amarius Mims.
I don't think she knows who that is.
Fair enough.
Yeah. But anyway,
Buccaneers.
edge rusher here. This is in the top 20. They're at 26. I think this is a good pick for them. They need an edge rusher.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
He's the second best guy that their fans want. So
they already picked up a wide receiver earlier in the draft. In our mock draft, they picked up Marvin Harrison. So maybe here the Cardinals actually end up picking a lineman. So they have a couple different options. They don't really need exterior. They need interior. They need guard centers. They already have the exterior pretty much covered. So if they can get someone interior like Zach Frazier, West Virginia, not many options. Let's see what else the fans kind of think.
Cool.
D-line.
McKinstry.
Nate Wiggins is already taken. Jax Myers Johnson is already taken. Cooper Shen's already taken.
The only guy on this list is Kool-Aid, who hasn't gone yet. So
that could be a good pick for them. They do need to prove their defense, so I think that might be a good option for them.
So there's
getting two of the most polarizing players in the draft. Obviously, Marvin Harrison for his talent and Kool-Aid for his name. Still a very good player, though, so that might be a funny little thing to have there. Yeah.
He plays Hollywood with Kool-Aid. Okay.
This is where I think Adonai Mitchell goes, who I think he broke the record for the fastest 40 time in the NFL draft.
That was Xavier Worthy.
Xavier Worthy, yeah.
It was, I think, a second to third round pick here.
Right.
But yeah, you're right. Buffalo Bills, they need a wide receiver. Stephon Diggs is gone. Gabe Davis is gone. They needed something, so Adonai Mitchell's probably the best available. For the Lions,
Zach Frazier pops up as someone who hasn't been drafted yet. I think that's the best. They need a center or guard, and Frazier was very solid.
Edge rusher or cornerback, so
they already have their edge rusher, I think, kind of taken because they have Hutchinson, and they also picked up somebody else.
Someone from the Bengals.
They picked up BJ Reader interiorly, but I'm talking about they had another edge rusher, I thought.
Oh, let me look at the thing here. They got Marcus Davenport.
Marcus Davenport. That's who. Like him as the second best rusher on that team is fucking scary, even if Davenport's getting a little older.
As for interior, I mean, they re-signed Graham Glasgow. They got Kevin Zeitler from the Ravens.
They still just need do they have Ragnow? Frank Ragnow?
They what?
Frank Ragnow.
No, they still have Ragnow. I think they've still got Ragnow.
Yeah, he's their center. He's locked down at center. He's amazing. Most of them are selecting cornerback, which I get because they got rid of C.J. Gardner-Johnson, so I feel like that's the best option for them. However, the best thing they have at cornerback, I mean, Mike Sainer still. And that's also a Michigan guy, a guy who returned to play for Michigan from his junior to senior year when he could have gone to the NFL, a guy who made a game-winning interception in the NCAA championship game. I feel like this is a home pick. Mike Sainer still might be the best option here. He's also a phenomenal slot corner. This guy hits like a freight train.
It's late enough in the first that you could justify taking him, so I'd go for it.
His games, pretty good performances in all of his games.
Good run defense, man coverage.
Yeah, I'd go for it. Sainer still would be a good pick.
Actually, what I haven't thought about.
I think Mike Sainer's still a floor could be Mike Hilton, and Mike Hilton's very good for the Bengals at a slot corner. And I've seen Mike Hilton on the Bengals tackle Derrick Henry solo in the open field. Like Mike Sainer still is that level already, I think. No disrespect meant to Mike Hilton, but Sainer still has just an amazing talent.
Ravens.
Ravens.
Wide receiver, O-line, edge rusher, cornerback. You could also say running back because they just lost J.K. Dobbins to the Chargers.
Yeah.
But they do have Derrick Henry. I think they do have someone else still.
That's right. I forgot about the Henry trade. Could go wide receiver.
Don't they
keep adding alongside Zay Flowers?
Was Patrick Queen linebacker or edge rusher?
Linebacker.
So this could be where Peyton Wilson comes in.
Yeah, it could be.
Hmm.
It's not that far off.
Not at all. I think that could be
No, I
really
mean
good for them.
he's ranked 30, and this is pick 30. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had 2 Pro Bowl linebackers. They need to get another one. So, okay. Moving on to the San Francisco 49ers offensive line and cornerback. As far as who they select here, a lot of people say tackle, and there's a good option right off the board.
Tyler Guyton,
Morgan.
mostly out of Oklahoma over Barton. Where's he at here? Ranked 39
for Barton.
For 26. Well, what's the stats say on these guys here?
First look. Sorry about that. First look, 6'5", 314 versus 6'7",
327.
Ooh, okay.
That's a big boy.
And then
all right, well,
hot take. Hot take.
Xavier Worthy going to the
They
Chiefs.
need a receiver, and I think they see a bit of Tyreek Hill in this guy.
I mean, in the words of Tom Grassi, he's really fast.
6'1", 172, junior. Who puts age in decimals?
Apparently,
what
PFF.
The fuck? And then can we look at his
the trend. Oh wait, there's a
trends.
Oh, trends for whoever picks. They're saying Chiefs are probably.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Is there? Can we see his 40 time here? First look?
I don't think so, but we know for a fact that he set the record. I think it was like a 4
analysis
0 or something.
Yeah. So,
but he's
functional NFL speed, not a straight line sprinter, had various speeds to be able to run around. Elite vertical threat, elite explosiveness, good deep tracking ability. This just sounds like a Mahomes receiver. Lightning quick footwork. Struggle rates to separate against physical coverage. Can get locked up at some good press corner with hands on him early. Does not use hands to fight off defenders when he attempts to run by them vertically. And strength is a consistent concern in this game, especially in regards to his catching reliability. So, very quick, very fast, a little shorter, struggles with the
enough
physicals.
Cons to justify him being a late second, early third pick, but I don't know about a 32nd overall here.
I mean, the other options at wide receiver, Roman Wilson, who's a slot receiver
overall,
from Michigan.
But for like better overall, you could go with like Brian Thomas Jr., Troy Franklin, Ladd McConkey. I think is if you go to analysis, is the so the guy that everybody is thinking.
This is a vertical threat, 6'4", 205. You got Troy Franklin, who's 6'3". Franklin, sorry. Ladd McConkey, who's 6 foot. Keon Coleman, 6'4", another 6'4". Big one. Roman Wilson, who I don't think he's even 6 foot. He's barely is, yeah.
Ricky Pearsall too.
I mean, but do the Chiefs like tall wide receivers? I feel like they haven't.
I feel like they just like receiver in general for this pick. So speedster,
they do like speedsters.
Yeah, what's Andy Reid like? Yeah.
Well, he likes cheeseburgers, but as for receivers,
Xavier Worthy, it's even coming up here. Like, I have a premonition, I have a feeling that this is going to be where Xavier Worthy's taken. It's going to be a surprise pick, but I think it's going to work for the Chiefs.
It'll be the one that makes someone go, oh, that screws up my board.
Grading your draft.
Oops, that plays in our playbook just yet.
Well, it's just, so this is our, This is our, we'll probably look at this as we are, can I save image?
No, I think it's just a PNG.
Yeah, I can save the image as a PNG, and we can look at it while we have our show next week and see how correct we are. There are 32 picks in this. We'll see. We'll see if we get any correct. How many, percentage-wise? How many do you think? Like, how many picks do you think we'll get correct out of this?
I'd say at least 60% here. I mean, we know the first three are going to be quarterbacks, or it's going to be 2 quarterbacks and then a trade if the Patriots decide to do that. Harrison is most likely going to the Cardinals. He's going to be probably getting the first one off the board. The next 3 picks could fluctuate here with some of that. Dallas Turner is definitely probably becoming a Falcon. And then
now, like, let's say for some weird reason the Patriots trade and the number 3 isn't JJ McCarthy, or the number 3 pick isn't them, it's another team, but they still pick McCarthy. Is that correct for us or no?
I would grant that as a correct choice. If
Okay,
they-
so it's
if
based on
Patriots do pick,
it's
if they
based on
trade down and
position.
default, yeah.
It's based on your position. So we say JJ McCarthy's going to be taken 3rd overall. Doesn't matter by who, but just 3rd overall. So yeah, I really like this because right here, Buck Bowers. I like that. I like that a lot. All right. Last. Oh, go ahead.
No, go on. It's never mind.
Yeah. Last but certainly not least, the final part of this glorious, classic Football Stooges podcast episode.
Something
Oh,
definitely football related.
Something definitely football related. Ice cream flavors. Woo.
Oh no.
Birthday cake
Matt's
ice cream.
okay.
Mason's like, I don't eat fucking ice cream. I only
I don't
drink
drink
beer.
ice
beer.
cream. That's a young people
I
thing.
only
Hey.
drink beer.
I said
Birthday
birthday
cake.
cake is a
Okay. Black cherry.
never had black cherry.
Oh my god, Blue Moon.
What is
It's
Blue Moon?
It's a
I
UDF
have no idea
flavor.
what-
It's like
I don't even know what that is. I do
Maybe
not.
blueberry.
D.
Okay. Brownie
have
batter.
Ooh.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Ooh.
I like chocolate, so
He's getting a little
I know,
orgasmic
S.
here, man. I'm gonna calm down.
I know. S.
Butter
Alright.
pecan. Old
Yeah,
person,
I'm
but
not a fan of
goated.
nuts.
What?
I'm not-
Goated flavor.
no,
Cake batter.
I'm not a nut person either. Cake batter with. I think I had that once
I
and it was good.
never had cake batter.
Cherry Garcia.
Fuck
I
is-
guess we can just say cherry.
I think
I
that's a
don't
Ben
know.
and one of those like weird Ben and Jerry's
I
flavors.
don't know.
Vanilla and chocolate swirl, a classic,
that's
soft
a
soft
classic.
serve.
A. That's A.
Yep. Chocolate chip.
S.
Chocolate mocha.
It's like if coffee and chocolate mixed.
Never had because I don't drink coffee. I don't have a coffee.
Run of the
taste.
mill chocolate.
S.
All right.
Chunky monkey.
I don't even know what that was
Ooh.
supposed to be.
I'd say B.
So like banana with chocolates or something.
Coffee. You never had. Cookie
Yeah.
dough.
Cookie dough's S
A.
tier for me.
A. Cookies and cream. Oreo.
B.
B. Dulce de leche. I don't know what that is.
I think
Don't
it's
know
like a
what that
caramel
is.
mixed with vanilla or something.
French vanilla.
Think of vanilla.
is. High B.
IB.
Okay.
Green tea. Wow.
I didn't even know they made that flavor.
No, I don't know.
Lemon sorbet.
Never heard of
I
that
like
one.
lemon sherbet.
Never heard of a lemon. Okay, mango.
Never had the mango.
Mint chocolate chip.
C. Like it depends. Like I've had bad ones. I've
Okay,
had.
Well, I'm gonna judge you for that one.
Mint Oreo.
Okay, now I love this one.
C. C also.
Okay, well now I hate you.
Wow.
All
Okay,
right.
Moose Tracks.
B.
Moose tracks over mint.
Neapolitan.
C.
That's chocolate, vanilla, strawberry all in one.
Yeah.
Yep. Orange sorbet. Sorbets are really good in the summertime.
Or is that supposed to be sherbet? Or S.
Sherbet
is
sorbet
fine.
means the same thing.
Orange
Okay.
sherbet.
Peach ice cream.
F. I don't like peach.
Wow. Peanut butter.
Hold on. B.
B. It's a really good soft serve place where I grew up that had a peach soft serve, or sorry, peanut butter soft serve. Really good. Fish food.
I have never heard of that one.
What?
Neither have I.
Neither have I. Okay. Pineapple ice cream.
Never had pineapple ice cream.
You never had
Okay.
Dole Whip? Oh my god, dude.
Pistachio
that.
ice cream.
Oh,
You ever
wait, no, never had.
Do not eat the free pistachio ice cream. Raspberry.
F. I'm not.
Red
Never heard of
bean.
the red bean.
Rocky Road.
Ooh. A.
Okay. Rum raisin.
Never had that.
Salted caramel.
Never had that.
Oh, that's a good flavor.
I've had
strawberry.
I've had actual salted caramel before. It's good.
Strawberry cheesecake.
Never really had that.
Oh, strawberry.
D.
Toffee.
Never had toffee.
And then regular run-of-the-mill vanilla.
B. Along
B.
with French vanilla.
Yep. Alrighty. There we go. Tier list for Mastodons. I'm surprised you haven't
Definitely judging
had
because the mint ones.
lemon sorbet is very good. I think like if you like orange sorbet, lemon sorbet, maybe even mango, you'd like. Pineapple's a
There's
little
this
weird.
local brand of slush called Richie's in my area that does lemon sorbet. Has a really good lemon sherbet.
Pistachio's great. Pistachio's really good, and then black cherry is amazing. Black cherry is one of my favorite flavors.
Mint Oreo's up there for me because there used to be this place on Cape Cod. Me and my family go to like every summer, and they did something called a grasshopper pie, where they took mint Oreo ice cream, put it in like a chocolate pie tin, basically like a frozen like ice cream pie. It was really good.
And then I know I grew up in Ohio, so Blue Moon is a brand that UDF usually sells. Blue Moon cookie dough. It's like vanilla ice cream with tons of blue food coloring in it with little bits of cookie dough in it. It's really good.
So
it's beer.
So it's just blue vanilla ice cream.
It is. It's kind of like a gimmick to get kids, like, oh, I want the really blue ice cream, and then their faces are covered in it.
You know what? I think I might have heard of something similar because there was a brand that used to be around here that just did something like this, but they called it Cookie Monster ice cream, like from Sesame Street.
Yeah.
It was the same. It was the same principle.
Yep.
So.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Do we have any questions from last week on the video?
Nope. It was just mainly Gorlami saying super shit and Kato saying.
Of course.
Yeah. For me, it was me saying last time I do this sort of thing, and Gorlami said.
Yep. There we go. All right. Make sure next week.
Let me run into your landmine.
Make sure next week you guys are watching. The show will be live around 7:30, maybe 7:45. We'll kind of announce the time once we get a little bit closer to that date. On Thursday night for the draft, we'll be covering the draft, looking at how our mock draft went into that draft, and we'll also be covering the UFL action from this week. 3 games on Saturday. 1 at 12. You have 2 at the same time. Hopefully you can find a multi-stream or something. And then the final game, the Tank Bowl of week 4 of the UFL. Fuck it, somebody's got to win. Renegades and Roughnecks are playing on Sunday. So enjoy football. Get ready for the draft. Duke Tobin, with every bone in my body, please draft Brock Bowers. Please. I don't want a repeat of last year watching Michael Mayer just like shrivel and die in Vegas, okay? Please. And last, but certainly not least, run the damn ball. Have a good night.